turned up to the ceiling and down to the floor and rolled around so queerly that they seemed to see every part of the room, and at last they looked at Dorothy again. "Why should I do this for you?" asked Oz. "Because you are strong and I am weak. Because you are a great wizard and I am only a little girl."
"I was trying not to kill the Wicked Witch of the East," said Oz. "That just happened," returned Dorothy simply. "I could not help it." "Well," said the head,
"I will give you my answer. You have no right to expect me to send you back to Kansas unless you do something for me in return. In this country, everyone must pay for everything he gets. If you wish me to use my magic power to send you home again, you must do something for me first. Help me, and I will help you." "What must I do?" asked the girl. "Kill the Wicked Witch of the West," answered Oz. "But I cannot!" exclaimed Dorothy, greatly surprised. "You killed the Witch of the East, and you wear the silver shoes, which bear a powerful charm. There is now but one Wicked Witch left in all this land, and when you can tell me she is dead, I will send you back to Kansas."
The little girl began to weep, and she was so much disappointed, and the eyes winked again and looked upon her anxiously, as if the great Oz felt that she could help him if she would.
"I never killed anything willingly," she sobbed. "Even if I wanted to, how could I kill the Wicked Witch? If you
who are great and terrible cannot kill her yourself, how do you expect me to do it?"
said the head. "But that is my answer, and until the Wicked Witch dies, you will not see your uncle and aunt again."
Remember that the witch is wicked, tremendously wicked, and ought to be killed. Now go, and do not ask to see me again until you have done your task.
Sorrowfully, Dorothy left the throne room and went back to where the Lion and the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman were waiting to hear what Oz had said to her.
"There is no hope for me," she said sadly, "for Oz will not send me home until I have killed the wicked witches of the West, and that I can never do."
Sorry, but could do nothing to help her. So Dorothy went to her own room and lay down on the bed and cried herself to sleep.
The next morning the soldier with the green whiskers came to the Scarecrow and said, "Come to me, poor Oz has sent for you."
So the Scarecrow followed him and was admitted into the great throne room, where he saw, sitting in the emerald throne, a most lovely lady.
She was dressed in green silk clothes and wore upon her flowing and green.
Shoulders were wings, gorgeous in color and so light that they fluttered if the slightest breath of air reached them.
When the Scarecrow had bowed as prettily as his strolls shopping to let him see before this beautiful creature, she looked upon him sweetly and said, "I am Oz, the great and the terrible.
Who are you, and why do you seek me?" Now the Scarecrow, who had expected to see the great head Dorothy had told him of, was much astonished, but he answered her bravely.
"I'm only a Scarecrow, stuffed with straw."
"Therefore I have no brains, and I come to you praying that you will put brains in my head instead of straw, so that I may become as much a man as any other in your dominion."
"Why should I do this for you?" asked the lady. "Because you are wise and powerful, and no one else can have me," answered the Scarecrow.
"Without some return," said Oz, "but this much I will promise.
"If you will kill for me the Wicked Witch of the West, I will bestow upon you a great many brains, and such good brain that you will be the wisest man in all the land of Oz."
"I thought you asked Dorothy to kill the witch," said the Scarecrow in surprise. "So I did. I don't care who kills her."
"Go until she is dead, I will not grant your wish. Now go and do not speak to me again until you have earned the brains that you so greatly."
Back to his friends and told them what Oz had said, and Dorothy was surprised to find that the great wizard was not a head, as she had seen him, but a lovely lady.
"All the same," said the Scarecrow, so she needed as hot as much as the Tin Woodman's down. The next morning, the soldier with the green whiskers came to the Tin Woodman and said,
"Oz has sent for you. Follow me." So the Tin Woodman followed him and came to the great throne room.
He did not know whether he would find a lovely lady or a head, but he hoped it would be the lovely lady.
He said to himself, "If it is the head, I am sure I shall not be given a heart, since a head has no heart of its own and therefore cannot feel for me.
But if it is the lovely lady, I shall break heart for heart, for all ladies are themselves slaves to be kindly hearted."
But when the woodman entered the great throne room, he saw neither the head nor the lady, for Oz had taken the shape of a most terrible beast.
It was nearly as big as an elephant, and the green throne seemed to hardly strong enough to hold its weight.
Had a head like that of a rhinoceros, only there were 5 eyes in its face.
There were 5 long arms growing out of its body, and it also had 5 long slim legs.
Thick woolly hair covered every part of it, and a more dreadful-looking monster could not be imagined.
It was fortunate that Tin Woodman had no heart at the moment, for it would have best allowed Pamperon.
Woodman was not at all afraid, although he was much disappointed.
Amos, the great and terrible, spoke the beast in a voice that was one great roar. Who are you, and why do you seek me? I'm a woodman and made of tin.
Therefore I have no heart and cannot love. I pray you to give me a heart that I may be as other men are. Why should I do this? Demanded the beast.
Because I ask it, and you alone can grant my request, answered the woodman. Oz gave a loud growl at this and said gruffly, If you indeed desire her, you must earn it.
How? Asked the woodman. Help Dorothy to kill the wicked witch of the West, replied the beast.
When the witch is dead, come to me, and I will then give you the biggest and kindest and most loving heart in all the land of Oz.
The woodman was forced to return sorrowfully to his friends and tell them of the terrible beast he had seen.
Now, wondering greatly at the many forms the great wizards could take upon himself, then the lion said,
If he is a beast when I go to see him, I shall roar my loudest, and so frighten him that he will grant all I ask.
And if he is the lovely lady, I shall pretend to spring upon her, and so compare it how to do by
If he is the great head, he will be at my mercy, for I will roll his head all about the room until he promises to give us what we desire.
So be good cheer, and my friends, for all will yet be well. The next morning the soldier went to Green Whiskers, led the lion the great throne's rooms, and bade him into the presence of Oz.
The lion at once passed through the door, and glancing around, saw to his surprise that before the throne was a ball of fire, so fierce and glowing that he could scarcely bear to gaze upon it.
His first thought was that Oz had by accident caught on fire and was burning out, but when he tried to go nearer, it was so intense that he singed his bow.
To a spot nearer the door. Then a low, quiet voice came from the ball of fire, and these were the words it spoke. I am Oz, the great and terrible.
Who are you, and why do you seek me? And the lion answered, I am a cowardly lion, afraid of everything.
Everything. I come to you to beg that you give me courage, so that in reality I may become the king of beasts, as men call me. Why should I give you courage? Demanded Oz.
Because of all wizards, you are the greatest and alone have power to grant my request, answered the lion.
Burned fiercely for a time, and the voice said, Bring me proof that the wicked witch is dead, and that moment I will give you courage.
But as long as the witch lives, and then you must remain a coward.
The lion was angry at this speech, but could say nothing in reply, and while he stood silently gazing at the ball of fire, it became so furiously hot that he turned tail and rushed from the room.
He was glad to find his friends waiting for him, and told them of his terrible interview with the wizard. And what shall we now? Asked Dorothy steadily.
There is only one thing we can do, returned the lion, and that is to go to the land of the Winkies, seek out the wicked witch, and destroy her. But suppose we cannot, said the girl.
Then I shall never have courage, and declared the lions, and I shall never have brains, added the scarecrow.
And I shall never have a heart, spoke the Tin Woodman. And I shall never see Aunt Em and Uncle Henry, said Dorothy, beginning to cry. Be careful, cried the green girl.
The tears will fall on your green silk gown and spot it.
Dorothy dried her eyes and said, I suppose we must try it, but I am sure I do not want to kill anybody, even to see Aunt Em again.
I'll go with you, and I am too much of a coward to kill the witch, said the lion. I'll go choose grass, scarecrow, but I shall not be of much help to you. I am such a fool.
Fool. I haven't the heart to harm even a witch, remarked the Tin Woodman. But if you go, I certainly shall go with you.
Therefore, it was decided to start upon their journey the next morning, and the woodman sharpened his axe on a green grindstone and had all the joints properly oiled.
Himself with fresh straw, and Dorothy put new paint on his eyes that he might see better.
And the green girls, who was very kind to them, to fill Dorothy's basket with the good things to eat and fasten a little leather around Toto's neck with a green ribbon.
They went to bed quite early and slept soundly until daylight, when they were awakened by the crowing of a green cock that lived in the backyard of the palace.
And a crackling and on a hand that had laid its green egg.
Chapter 11.
The end. I read this page by page. So, okay, done. Done.